We're back. Dicking around for a couple hours playing. This is what I like doing, playing. Doing the impossible. Okay, so I've worked out that I put 3/4 of an inch in here. I'm not sure what the difference between the Dyna and the FL is. I don't know if it's 3/4 of an inch. It's noticeably more, so it's at least a 1/2 inch. So either way, this will give me the extra material I need for going down the cylinder down through here. It'll give me some room to play. The other thing is I can offset the cylinder over as long as I'm above the height of this. Here, I don't have to put anything in here if the height of the cylinder is above this lip. So if the cylinder was never any more than this edge here, when you're up here like that, so you would never hit, you'd still have room for a seal right there. You have that much seal, that's enough to seal the case right there. But if you keep the deck low like this, then it's going to be a problem. As long as you pull it back, it's not a problem. This is stock twin cam cylinder here. Spigot, it's left of one. Doesn't fit in because the spacers are in the way of the nuts. So this is the same height as that. I thought this thing was extremely short. It isn't. It's the same height as a twin cam. It just looks extremely short because of the big bore. It's an illusion. So that means I can run comparable strokes in this motor as a twin cam. And I'm not sure how tall the twin cam cylinder is because I didn't lock up a height to kind of guess where the height was. I'm pretty sure this is shorter than a twin cam, but I don't know. I don't have a twin cam laying around here to write this meant to check. But if you move this thing up an inch off the case right here, then you don't have too many problems. I want to put 1.25 inches in here, and that makes the cylinder spigot flush on this one side. It'd be on the register on this side. I'm going to bore it that way, so I'd put the cylinder on this edge here, and I'd bore it, offset bore it to here. Then move the cylinder that way. And that's about 100 thou over. So that would give you a little extra room on this side. The cases are thick enough and you can bore them if you need to go deeper. Now, so I'm not sure how deep they go down. We just did that M8. We went down like 1/400, I think. So it's like 400 less than this one. It was down about that deep on that M8. So we can do the same thing on this too if we wanted and make the cylinder longer. But who knows? So basically that's the width we would run at. Okay, this thing's kind of heavy. Boat anchor. So if you put that right there, that'd be on center. Let's see, right now I'm off center a little bit. Put that back over there. About there is where it would be. Yep, about right there is where it would be. So you can make that work. Sliding, sliding, sliding. Okay. From this view, it's fun to do with one hand. Okay, now if you put that on the edge of that 100 thou right there, you can see how the back of the cylinder would go down through the case, and you have to move the tranny back. That's if you stayed there. Now, if you slid up a little bit because you're going to make it taller, there's an inch gap right there right now. You made the deck an inch taller. Slid that right up to the edge of that edge. There's room for a bolt up in the center. That's what S&S does. He raises the deck heights up to make room for bigger bores. Oh, when you do that, you can see how now we're almost flush in the back with the tranny. But we're an inch higher in the air, so it doesn't matter because it's out of the way. The piston doesn't come down that far, so it doesn't hit it. So it can actually be offset and stepped over. It wouldn't make any difference. In which case I could pull the tranny all the way back and run a FL1 over there. I don't think I want to push it that much. I think I want to pull this thing back about 100 thou from that edge. And that'll put me a little bit too much back here. I'm thinking a Dynaglide primary would be the answer though. So anyway, it lines up pretty good like that. Now depending on where you put the cylinder, you're offsetting the bore. The stock center of the bore is about way up here. Can't run that obviously. So you got to bring it back that a little bit more. So if you bring it back about a 1/2 inch, that'll offset the piston a 1/2 inch, which is, nobody will say you can do that, but you can. You got a 5 1/4 inch bore, you can be a 1/2 inch offset and it ain't gonna kill it. If you could be an 1/8 inch off on a 3 inch bore, what the hell's the difference? I see this for the OEM car stuff, they run up to 200 thou offset on some applications, but anyway, this thing's pretty heavy. All right, anyway, you got some options there. I think it's a boat anchor. So, you know, I think I could probably pull out about half of this, drop it down to a 3/8 spacer. I need to find out what the Dynaglide primer is and if it'll bolt on or not. That is the question. If I raise this deck up 1 inch, then it limits a lot of problems. If I drop it down, then I got to offset the cylinder further. So I think I'm going to raise the deck up 1 inch. Now, if you tilt the cylinder a little bit angle-wise, it helps on some things and hurts on the other. So, but that's another trick you can do. And a little bit of movement on that makes a big difference. Oop. Come on, fighting the damn thing here. Okay, so there's flat. Now if you lean it back a little bit, now I'm not sure what 5 degrees is, but if you lean it back a little bit like that much, about an 1/8 inch under the cylinder over there, be about there, then that helps you down here because now it's not going in the tranny as much. It's going to make the pistons hit harder on each other, but the cylinder's going to be back further, so it actually helps piston clearance too. So you can tilt that back a little bit. Now, I don't want to go a big amount like this, I just want to go a little bit. A few degrees. So if you go 100 thou, that makes a big difference. Then see if also, if you look at the push rod angle, it moves back, and that would line up your Sportster rear cylinder. It was off quite a bit. That would put it pretty much in alignment, so that'd be good too. So everything that kind of fits a little bit better when you do it that way. So these are all tricks you can do. It's a beast. But anyway, that is some options there. Now, obviously, the twin cam case, the lifter's completely in the wrong spot. They're right over here, so they'd have to really twist around to get over there. It's not like you couldn't do it. Harley does it. So, you know, I could use that case and make it work, but I'd much rather go to a 4-cam. But otherwise, the twin cam would be the next thing. I definitely don't want to do a single cam. But we'll see how the Sportster mocks up into here. I think that's a lot better way of going still. But I could make the twin cam work too if I had to. Things are just in the wrong spot, but yeah, it's a Harley. It's supposed to be in the wrong spot. Now what I don't know is the height difference between an M8 and a twin cam. So I got to figure out the links here to how high things are getting to be. So what I need to do is I need a junk twin cam crank, which I don't have laying around. And I can take it apart and stroke it and mock up a stroke, mock up a longer rod, and then I can mock up the motor because it's got a twin cam case right now, a bolt right in. I always like just mocking stuff up and trying to figure it out. What I did figure out was that this cylinder, so even though it looks short, it's actually fairly long. So right now we got a 5 1/4 inches. No, 4 3/8 inches. Not quite. Not sure what the gasket surface is on this thing. 4 5/16 length to the flange. I'm pretty sure that a twin cam is, well, all your big bore Harley cylinders, they're up there like 5 inches on the cylinder length. Your normal ones, I think they're like 5 inches. So that means it's 700 thou shorter than a stock cylinder, which means you have a limited amount of stroke you can do. But if you go way on down to the gasket surface down there, and then go a little deeper because I want to put a sleeve in there and go further in. That way you're covering up the gasket surface. I don't even know what kind of seal they got in there. I'm sure there's no gasket. It's probably some kind of an O-ring. These are screwed together somehow. So if you overlap this thing by putting a sleeve in it and overlap it, then that eliminates leakage there. Which means you can have a lot more cylinder pressure. You can see in there, you can go in there a 1/4 inch deeper with a cylinder in there. And if you let it sit right there, that's probably a 1/4 inch past the lip down in there. It's hard to tell. Maybe blown up you can see. But, anyway, if you do that, you have about 1 inch right here. See? That's 1 inch, so that's about 950. So basically you have 6 inches, you got 7 inches of total height for a piston, if the piston was flat here, all the way down to there. 2 inch tall piston. Now most pistons are a lot taller than 2 inches, so once again I don't have any pistons laying around here to give a measure, but they're definitely taller. Those M8 pistons are pretty short, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be close to 2 inch. But if you got 2 inch here, you got 1 inch for a piston, inch on the other side is 2. That means you got room for 5 inches of stroke. I can live with 5 inches of stroke. That's if you don't make the spigot longer. Now if you make the spigot longer, like they do on this on the aftermarket stuff, and go down deeper, then you can gain piston length going down, still run a 5 inch stroke. Or you can go even longer stroke, go 5 1/4. Everybody likes square motors, so 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 looks perfect to me. But I think we can probably get something that's pretty long. Now if we go up 1 inch higher right here, then that's 1 inch more length you get in a sleeve. So then that gets, this becomes 2 inches tall here. Now you can definitely run some big ass stroke. You don't have to worry about it. But you will have to have a long rod. That's for darn sure. And I'm not sure how much you can bore this cylinder out. I know you can notch, you can go pretty good on these things. You can run really thin wall sleeves. They've run as little as 40 thousandths, 38 thou, and make it, it works. So if you do something like that, you would make it the same length. You couldn't go any, it's not thick enough to go down more this way. Now if you were to do something like put a big spigot down here, so you basically cut into your base gasket area here a little bit, you come out a little bit, and then it'd be like a notch like this, but then you can kind of bore it down. Then you can actually make the sleeve thicker, and the cross section right here would not be too thin to break off, but you can still be only 30 thou bigger here because you're making the spigot bigger on the outside. You just got to make this cross section right here bigger, so you have to go down, you have to step it down 100, 150 down, probably 200 down wouldn't hurt, but once again you get kind of thin through here, so you got to kind of figure what you got to work with. You only got 300, you got 3/8 to work with, so you can go an 1/8 inch in there. So an 1/8 inch cross section is probably enough not to worry about it breaking off. Probably get away with 100 thou, I bet. So if you do that, then you can make the sleeves thicker. You can make the sleeve tall and still be supported. It'll be supported in the case too a little bit also. So you don't have to worry about breaking it off at the flange. So I kind of like that. I like the length. I'm not sure how long the rod's going to be. It's probably going to be about 9.5 inches, I bet, if you make it real long stroke. But not 9.5. What are they? 8 inch. I'm trying to think what length they are. Twin cam. See, they run 8 inch rods. 8 inch rods on the Evo motor, the aftermarket Evo. So if you did, if you had an 8.5 inch long rod, you can get away with a lot. But you have to have a custom rod made, obviously, to do that. But that's not That's not out of the question. It can be done. So, anyway, these are all things to figure out what you want to do. It's a matter how big you want the motor to be. I think 4 3/4 stroke put me up there pretty good. I think that was the 206 inches, and 227 was, I think, 5 1/4 stroke, I think. 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. So, anyway, it's pretty good size. Alright, I am going to go put this stuff away and go do some real work. It's tomorrow now. It's 1 minute past midnight. Time to go get some real work done. Alright, enough playing around my airplane stuff. I like sticking around with stuff like this. Next thing is to get a crankshaft. I need a twin cam crank. I'm going to stroke it. So if you have a late model twin cam crank, it doesn't matter what year, I'm going to stroke it anyway. So I'm going to increase the stroke, do a mock-up, make the rod longer. I'm going to weld two rods together and make it any length I want, and mock up with a piston, see how far up and down I can go in this thing and have it work. That's the only way you can really do stuff. Just build the damn thing. Alright, there we go. That's it for now.